And a very warm welcome back to the studio here for Gordon Bennett 2019. I'm Regan Tetlow. This is event director Markus Haggeney. Welcome back, Markus.
Good morning.
You rested, are you? You rested?
Yes, I had the night shift as always, but I'm now back in session, yes.
You always get the night shift as the event director, eh?
Yes, I do, because I want to make sure that things go smoothly. And also, since pilots don't sleep, I don't sleep either. I want to make sure that they feel covered very well also from the ground.
Another beautiful launch, very emotional. It's a fantastic experience, as always. What happens directly after that for you?
Well, I quickly go back to the office and check the weather, check the trajectories, look into scenarios which might affect air traffic control regulations, and we just monitor the race and see if the forecast turns out as we were hoping or as we were expecting it to be.
Well, let's have a look at the screen and see what's been happening. Talk us through what's going on.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. So in a way, Montbéliard is here and balloons were heading to the west. Personally, I thought more balloons would go high and head for the Alps and go into Switzerland and then further into Italy. But obviously, we see two different groups flying in France. First of all, these teams here are the furthest away, but the Atlantic is coming fairly soon. So I'm not sure if these three balloons here will stop by sunset tonight, or if they want to do what these pilots are doing here, which I would summarize as buying time. And they are buying time to be slow in order to have a weather, which we will talk about in a second, approaching from the northwest, and they are buying time, they are parking their balloons, and you can see already that the heading is taking a more northwesterly, even a more northerly direction. And the secret behind it, there's a big depression, big low over here, and they hope to be sucked in and then follow the front. And I believe this is now showing it very nicely. It's a weather tool called Windy, and you can see blue colors indicate low wind speeds, green is picking up, and then you get into purple. So this is Europe, and this is how pilots really see the weather. They not only look at what's happening in Montbéliard, they look at the overall bigger picture. And we can see from the UK over to Scandinavia, you see the strong wind pattern over here. And this is obviously moving with the weather. And by the way, I believe this is the ex-hurricane Dorian, which was really disastrous a couple of days ago. And now it crossed the Atlantic and is affecting the European weather. So these balloons are heading now north, and they want to enter the green area. Of course, not the stormy part here. This shows the altitude of 3,000 meters. And when you have a much closer look, you will see that the weather will then take them to an easterly direction. So what we will see in the next 6 hours, that balloons pass by Montbéliard quite close.
Oh, really?
And then continue over Bâle into Germany and potentially into Austria. I personally believe it's Bulgaria or Romania in the end.
Yeah, once we get there east, there's plenty of open space. Is there anything closed off around that area?
No, it's normal air traffic control. Of course, when they approach Basel, it's a busy airport. We have Zurich. They will stay north of Zurich. But then we have Munich. We need to see at what time they approach Munich, or if they stay south of it. And then when you continue, you have Salzburg, Vienna, but that's 24, 36 hours out. So we will talk about that tomorrow morning, I guess.
Wow.
But clearly it's now coming. The wind will turn around. Balloons will more or less come back to Montbéliard and pass by within 50 miles to the north, 50, 80 miles-ish, and in order to benefit from this system, which is to the north of us.
Excellent. We've got some great images from the Swiss team this morning. They're sent in. Let's get those on, and we'll have a talk through what was happening there. Here we go. Markus, tell us what we're seeing here.
Well, this is a shot from the basket. You see how they are organized in the basket. The Swiss are always outstanding in the way they cover the event. They send pictures all the time. They tweet. They send videos. And you can see the sun protection. You see the foil here around the basket. because winds are traveling with the speed of wind, so there's no wind at all in the basket.
Yeah.
And obviously when you're flying at 2,500, 3,000 meters or even higher or lower, the sun is so intense, you need to protect yourself and you need to be careful that you don't get too much of a sunburn. So you see all the instruments there which they're watching, they have ballast all around, there is oxygen hidden, this is the transponder, what you see here. It's a device which actively talks with air traffic control. It responds actively to radar beams and transmits altitude and position. This is some of the electricity management in the basket, because all of the devices and gadgets need electricity. And without electricity, you will be back to the old days of Gordon Bennett, where guys were flying with a printed train schedule.
Really?
And yes, they did. Before the Second World War, or around the First World War, they took off with a printed train schedule, and then they heard the train, and then they looked it up, and at that time most trains were on time. And then they knew more or less where they were.
Do you know, it's my third year of Gordon Bennett. That's the first time that's cropped up. There's always great information, isn't there?
Yes. It's this is how it started. But now they have GPSs, of course, and all kinds of cell phones. But they absorb lots of energy and battery, so you need to refuel all the time. They have solar panels on board.
Well, how much battery would they take then? I mean, what type of batteries are they using?
Well,
any idea?
Well, the technology gets better and better. So with the solar panels, they should be able to recharge everything during the day, and then they can keep this going for 60, 80 hours non-stop.
What an incredible endurance. We know that obviously the Gordon Bennett, the Coupe is all about the distance, but it is a game of endurance as well. It can be a game of endurance.
Yes, of course, endurance. Now they saw the toilet paper, so they're ready for some time. But honestly, it's tough. I mean, now it's beautiful and warm and cozy, and we have the sun. You see the balloon flying above you, but it's not giving a shadow because we are not flying in the tropics, so there is no shadow coming from the envelope. But it gets cold overnight, and you're flying high, so your oxygen level drops, and in case it's too low, of course, or they're flying much higher, they take artificial oxygen, and then it's really cold. I mean, in the end, when you stand there for hours and hours and you're flying at 3,000-4,000 meters, which we will see later tonight or tomorrow, it's really cold. So you need to be strong, mentally very fit to stand that.
Yes, we do indeed. I can see the good shot from above there looking down into the basket.
Yes. Yeah, this is the protection. It's not only protecting against the sun, but also in case of precipitation or moisture. It keeps it a little bit warmer and getting pilots a little bit out of the direct weather impact. And you see there's lots of ballast around. You see all the bags hanging there. So they are in pretty good shape. It appears they didn't use a lot of ballast until now. And as I said, they buy time. And the best way to buy time is fly low. And the lower you fly, the less ballast you need.
Yeah, it's amazing when I first saw them using the ballast. I would imagine it would be half a bag of sand out, then a full bag of sand out, and it was just a little spoon, a few grains at a time.
Yes, they do. They even recycle their leftovers and use it on a suitable occasion. Yes.
Incredible insight all the time. We're learning about this competition, this Gordon Bennett, the World Cup of gas ballooning. A little bit earlier, we called in to the headquarters of three of the teams. It was USA-1, Belgium, and it was Spain. Let's have a look at what happened when we called in to the headquarters. So this is exciting. We're at the headquarters of three of the teams. It's Belgium, it's USA, and the combined team of España and Catalonia. Let's go inside and see what's going on. Come on. Good morning, everybody. Oh, well, this is exciting, isn't it? We're behind the scenes. We might see some secrets. You never know. This is what it's all about with the Gordon Bennett. People are doing their own strategies. Let's see what we can find. First of all, brilliant story from yesterday. Great adventure. Tell everybody who you are.
Hi, guys. I'm Ben from Stuttgart. And yeah, well, as Regan said yesterday, I almost arrived here at early afternoon. And then I got a call from here telling me I need to turn around because I need to get the second balloon for the Spanish team because they had some troubles with on the first inflation. So I was on the road for like 9 hours in the end to get the second balloon here.
You got here and we were watching with the launch last night. All the teams were going up in the air, and I was keeping one eye on the Spanish team at the back there with their inflation. It seemed to me that it was just right down to the last minute that they were ready and marched forward for the launch. Was there any time to spare with them, do you know?
I don't think there was a lot of time because we started moving the balloon towards the podium for takeoff, and at that moment Markus Haggeney called and told us guys, you need to get moving now because if not you're going to be too late.
And when we got the Spanish team up there on the podium for the last launch, the local MC announced the story and what happened, and it was an amazing round of applause from all the audience. They really appreciated the effort.
Yeah, I think so. I think they were really grateful for all the help they got from people getting the balloons, from the people that are actually giving them the balloons to fly them. So I think the whole thing is a great story already.
It really is. Well done, man. It seems like all of you have got your own tasks going on here. Are you all doing the same thing, or are you all doing different things? What's happening?
Sometimes we're doing the same things, just with different weather models, and then, well, at night, if some people are sleeping, then we always have backup.
Are you in touch with the teams? Are you in contact with them?
Yeah, you're communicating with them all the time, basically.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
At the back here, Mr. ATC with all these air traffic control. Tell everybody who you are.
Hi, I'm Thomas from Bremen, and I'm responsible for the ATC issues here. I check the areas if they are active or not. I try to arrange with ATCs if they can enter airspace Charlie or Delta or something like this.
Any issues right now, or is everything good for you?
For the time being, no. For the time being, it's quite easy. Or let me say, it's a bit boring. Nothing to do.
Are you working for all three teams?
I'm working for all three teams, yes.
Good stuff. Headquarters, here we are. There's computers everywhere. It's like a Bond. It's like a James Bond movie. Check in with this guy. Tell everybody who you are.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I'm now from Prague. I'm living in Prague, and I'm coordinating all of this here.
Thomas, last night you were on the podium for the launch. You were calling the teams forward. Really, really well done. There was, in my view, two sides to what you were doing. You did a very polite, nice welcome to everybody. Welcome to the podium. But you were strict and firm in a very controlled manner. It was obvious you were the boss. I think you did a brilliant job. Give me a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a really good job last night. How did it feel to be there? Did you feel under pressure, or did you feel relaxed?
Well, it's not the first time I did that. So for me, it was quite relaxed since the wind calmed down. In the beginning, it was a little bit windy, but then it calmed down. The task, what you say about being the boss, is quite easy. The pilots are bargaining for every sandbag they have to get out before takeoff. And it doesn't make sense because they have to go on altitude anyway, but still they are bargaining. But in order to have a safe launch, they should have a positive climb rate. And I think we achieved that with most of the balloons.
Just walk us through what happens. They get to the steps. Next stage is up the steps. That can be a little bit tricky with a lot of people around.
Yeah, so the balloon is down on the surface, and it has to get on a podium where you have to lift him up the stairs. If the balloon is weighed off quite well before, ahead of time, then you get it up really nicely on the podium. But there's, as I said, some pilots who think if they have a lot of ballast with them, they will take it with it. But it won't happen. So that's the first thing. Once they are up on the podium, I tell all the people to let the balloon go. I weigh it off so I see how heavy it is. And then we put out bags until I feel a positive lift about 20 to 30 kilos. And then we let it go.
We were watching last night. We see the hands off. It's like a test, and then we take a grip again, and that's your finding for that positive lift.
Exactly, it's a finding for a positive lift because you don't want to shoot them out like a rocket. That doesn't make sense either. But you don't want to have them too heavy to get out because then, like with one balloon, it happened. Then you have to throw out a bag like a couple of meters after that, and that doesn't make sense.
Great job. We really appreciate your effort last night for that. What you're doing now, tell us what you're doing without going into too much detail, of course.
So here, actually, I can show you some new pictures here from Mark and Sherry.
Oh, great.
just came in. So we are communicating here with the balloons. We are doing that through WhatsApp. And it's quite easy. We look into the different weather models. Everybody is calculating a different weather model. Then we stick the heads together, which one is the most probable one. And we give advices to the pilots. It's obvious still in the pilot's decision what they do or what they not do, but we give them advice. And then we'll see what happens. And we monitor them. We see what's good, what's not good. Sometimes we get some tasks to calculate something about ballast. So we are kind of the girl for everything, you know. Like yesterday, we got a call. We have a broken balloon. What to do next, you know? So we organized 2 balloons to get here.
Yeah, really, really good job. Thanks very much. Let's move back a little bit there, Dominic. Let's check in. Tell everybody who you are and what you're doing.
Hey, my name's Matthias, and I'm also supporting the team with Meteo strategy and all that stuff.
Yeah, last year, you two, was it Germany? What number was it? 3 last year.
Yes.
Yeah, you had that flight. Why are you not competing this year? What's the reason?
In Germany, you have to qualify, as there are 3 teams allowed per nation, and we simply didn't find the time to fly last year, because for a qualification flight you need almost a week of time in order to get there. When it's a long distance flight, you need to go back and pack everything, and so it really takes a lot of time. So we kind of agreed to do 1 year Gordon Bennett and 1 year qualification. So we already did 1 qualification flight this year back in January, and hope to do another one this fall, and so maybe we'll see each other next year in Poland.
Yeah, we hope so. Germany is so big in gas ballooning, isn't it? There's so many teams in Germany.
Yeah, there's a really long tradition in gas ballooning in Germany, and that's why there are still so many pilots and launch sites as well, because you need the hydrogen, obviously, which is getting more and more complicated as other industries and mobility are finding that hydrogen is not so bad to use, actually. So it's getting more and more difficult, but there are still a lot of gas balloons and gas balloon pilots in Germany, yes.
What's happening with your screens right now? What are you monitoring?
So we're working on the strategy, and we will see if we can get the teams where we want them to be. At the moment, it's really looking good. USA-1 and Belgium-1, they've changed direction to the northeast, and that's a good progress for what we want to achieve.
Just turning around onto the beamer here on the wall, you've got it looks like an invasion of the UK.
I wouldn't call it an invasion, but we'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, it's the United Kingdom there. Currently in Europe. We'll see how that develops over the next few weeks.
I hope they're not Brexiting while our teams are there.
They'll never get them back.
Whew. I was talking to an Austrian team yesterday on the field, and they told they've been landing in Algeria some years ago during the Gordon Bennett, and they've returned as well. So UK shouldn't be that bad.
We see that's another story. We'll see how that one develops over the next few weeks. And we've got a new boy on the block. Give him a round of applause. Hey. Tell everybody who you are, what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Kolja. I'm from Lake Constance, and I'm also from the club in Stuttgart. Sherry is calling.
We're live with Sherry in the basket. Can we get Sherry? How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. 15 hours, and I've slept a little, so I'm happy.
We've got you right now on Gordon Bennett TV, so everybody's watching back home. Anybody you want to say hello to?
Of course. Hello, mother.
Yeah.
It's in and out, huh?
In and out. It's good to see you, though, Sherry. Good to see you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That's good. We're going to be bringing more from the teams and the ground crews as well, with some calls. Maybe later today or tomorrow. We'll catch up with that. Anyway, back to this new guy. Come on, tell us, everybody, who you are.
So again, I'm Kolja. I'm from Lake Constance and also from the club in Stuttgart, and we're supporting 3 teams here and doing all we can.
Is this your first time on the headquarters? Is it new for you?
It's very first time, yes, and so I try to help where I can and assist. And
you seem to have the most expensive screens here. You got the.
I'm the newbie, so.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. Now there is one more member of this team from our guys from last year in Bern. He's down here. Reminder, what's his name again?
Yeah,
Gerhard.
Gerhard, and we spent a lot of time together last year in Bern, especially on the final night. What's he watching here? Is he monitoring something?
Gerhard, what are you doing here? Oh, no, he's not. He's.
Well, we'll leave him to carry on with that. He's busy there. But from all of us here at the headquarters, USA, Belgium, and España, Catalonia, thank you very much. Bye-bye. We'll see you later. Well, welcome back. Here we are in the studio. The headquarters, the ground crews, the technicians, the unsung heroes, Markus.
I'm really thankful that these guys are covered to that extent. I mean, we all always talk about the pilots, of course, but without these teams, they couldn't do what they are doing. And I really, really appreciate how you cover this, and to see the commitment, the dedication, the energy, the passion. That's airmanship in its best sense.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. A few questions coming through online. Just to summarise, I think one of them was about the distance. How do we measure it?
Yeah, the winning distance will be measured straight line. So it doesn't matter how many circles the pilots are doing. Straight line, direct line from takeoff to landing.
The other question was about the tracking. Of course, we have the tracking, www.gordonbennett.aero. That's the web page with all the informations on there. You can catch up with the live tracking as well, and all the previous videos are there. I'll just have a quick look online, see if we've got any about Melanie. Somebody was asking about Melanie.
Yeah, Melanie's a very well-known aerobatics pilot. She will fly here as a display pilot, but Melanie's also a Red Bull Air Race pilot, so she will definitely show something very special. I believe today, but for sure tomorrow.
Yeah, we've got the air shows. You can hear the planes warming up outside here on the Aérodrome du Piers de Montpellier. Let's have a look at any more questions coming through. The older racers in the app, yeah, they're there as well. The older racers, I think the older racers, we can see the tracking from previously.
Yes, we can see them. There's also on the website, you will see the legend and the history segment. You can follow all the statistics since 1906. You see many stories and many statistics, which are very interesting to see. But tracks not, of course, of all the races, because this kind of tracking only is a matter of modern technology. But you will find a lot on the website.
Doing my research, going through some of the heroes and the aces from the past, I noticed a Haggeney in there.
Yeah, that is my brother Dominic, who was flying as a pilot a couple of years ago. Not only once, a couple of times, and he's now watching. I assume he sees me now. Hi, Dominic. Yeah, we are a ballooning family. I did my first flight in a gas balloon way back in 1968.
1968? Before I was born. Well, not quite. I was already alive, but just a little bit.
Yeah, we are kind of getting old. I agree.
We are, aren't we? Bit by bit. What's the rest of the day lined up for you? Are you back in the office? Or?
Yeah, well, it's now my shift until tonight, and then we'll split the night again. And yeah, will be a busy day because now when balloons are turning around and take a new heading, we will see the ATC, air traffic control matters, and see if we have to clarify matters with Basel or Zurich or Munich maybe. So it will be an exciting afternoon.
Well, keep your eyes on the race. Keep following the tracking. We'll be back here in the studio with another update for Gordon Bennett TV at 5 p.m. 1700. We'll see you then.